Looks like we're lowering the bar. 'Cause I've never felt
Reminds me of I remember seeing this accessory for the Game Boy Advance, like the first one, to like put a backlight in it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
also a
the
TV.
afterburner stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All the like, you need a special screwdriver to get into this.
Yeah, Tri-Wing. Yeah, Nintendo always uses the Tri-Wings.
Yeah.
I had to have a Tri-Wing in order to put the case mod on my Switch.
I've always been more of an A-Wing fan myself, but
I actually like B-Wings a little bit more. B-Wings are... Y-Wings close second.
Nerd.
speaking of nerds, I was hanging out. It was killing some time, but before the podcast.
Podcast launcher.
And I was gonna get some reading in, but I ended up sitting with a friend and who was hanging out with these like. It's been a long time since I've seen like, you know, a weirdo nerd that like in that prime age of like 17, 18, like 19, like that. This is the first like I'm feeling old now.
Yeah.
Flash was like, man, you guys are dorks. Like, you guys are just dorks, and like, you know, it's like, you know, you evolve. So dork is the basic Pokemon, and then you evolve to nerd, and then it's geek after that.
Is that how that goes?
That's how I always envisioned it, because I was like, you know, because getting called a nerd back in my day, getting called a nerd wasn't cool yet. As I adjust my glasses and scratch my mustache,
I always thought of nerds and geeks as being fairly interchangeable, except so a nerd can be kind of universally applicable. Like you can be a band nerd. I guess you can. People use the term band geek too. But
I've always
you can
wondered.
you
about
can
the
be like
etymology of
a music nerd. You can be a sports nerd. You can be, you know, all those. You know, you're just super nerdy on a single topic. There's something that you pay very close attention to the minutia of this particular thing, and that is your nerdery. Whereas
nerdery. I like
nerdery.
that.
If you're a geek, that tends to be used in more of a
Techie
tech
video
focus.
game.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
That's kind of how I always took it as well.
But it still indicates a tendency to over-examine the minutia of, you know, a specific thing. So
There are cooler words in the dictionary that go dump its books in the hall.
Yeah. Right. Whereas dork is just like so dork
it's
I
almost
more
dweeb.
associate with like lower level, I don't know, maybe not as socially capable, or I don't know. I see, of the three, I only see dork as an insult. You know what I mean?
I got called dork quite a bit. It was
You fucking dork.
Dork.
or an endearing insult.
Yeah.
It can
You know,
be
like-
endearing. I've definitely heard it more used as an endearing thing than anything.
You know,
honestly.
I've been called a dork before when I just do something awkward or you know, weird or something. It's like, you fucking dork. You know, and
like putting the wrong shoes on your feet.
sure.
The wrong
shoes.
So are the shoes wrong?
So,
Are you putting
like,
them on the
shoes-
wrong?
I'm sorry,
feet?
Or-
yes, your
or
shoe-
someone
you're wearing-
else's shoes?
You're wearing the shoes on your.
No, that would be a social
Or
faux
you
pas.
put them on the wrong feet, like your dog's feet? Or
and this was a simulation of the dork detector test. If this was a real situation,
That'd be a weird.
the authorities would be on their way.
That'd be a weird realization. You get to school, you're not wearing shoes. Ah, shit! I put them on the wrong feet.
Well, you see, that's the thing. One of those kids was not wearing shoes. So okay. So let me paint a visual picture here, and I'm going to use some comparisons.
okay.
So this kid looked like if Jim Morrison never started the Doors but started a software company instead. So, you know.
That's a beautiful image.
This is the end of line. My only friend.
Sorry, I'll get it to you by Friday. And I was just like, and his buddy looked like
Software writers on the storm.
God
Oh
damn it.
man.
But yeah, so one kid, Lenny's wearing shades and like had a ponytail and was just like, cool, man. And they were just like trying to bring up like very dorky things that were like, like this is the first time that someone has ever tried to impress me because I was older than them. And it was just like, oh, okay, all right, wow, that's interesting. Wow. And his buddy looked like if Leonard Skinner was like an extra in like a rock climbing movie. Like so he was wearing this
I'm
like
trying to like track
he was
the
wearing this,
metaphors
like,
here.
hat.
Yeah, there's a lot to follow here.
Let me unwrap. So he was wearing this like curled up like cowboy hat with like a big feather stuck in it, like, and not in a cool way.
Is there ever really a cool way?
To wear a feather?
You
wear
leave
a
Billy
feather in your
Jack
hat.
alone. But
I feel like the person makes it acceptable. Like it's
Robin
not
Hood
really,
had a feather in his cap.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of people look
So
at Robin
did
Hood like, look
Yankee
at
Doodle.
that geek.
Yeah.
Oh, I guarantee
And
you,
Yankee
people looked at
Doodle
Yankee-
put it there intentionally, very, very intentionally. But he called it macaroni, so I don't know where.
He also went to town.
Yeah.
Tyler stood with the sheriff of Nottingham while they extorted millions of dollars from the.
I mean,
Is that
honestly,
the kind
the
of man you want running your school district?
hashtag not my sheriff.
Oh man, but yeah, no, it was just these two dorks, and it was
Fucking dork.
It was wonderful knowing that out there are new dorks that that maybe will grow to be cool someday, but they aren't quite there yet.
Maybe they'll blossom to be nerds or geeks.
Maybe he'll wear shoes,
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Birkenstocks. maybe he'll advance. He'll just grow Birkenstocks.
Like he'll
man.
grow them on. Like,
like kind of like how hobbits have naturally like leathery soled feet.
Man leather.
oh Jesus! There's like so many implications.
You're welcome.
Man leather.
Man
I'm gonna be
leather.
dwelling on all of these references and
Man leather.
metaphors for the rest of this podcast.
Man leather, the story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which is kind of the story of Ed Gein, but not really.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
I want to get a T-shirt with the Man Witch like label, on it, but have Gein Witch instead.
Well, he didn't eat the people. He only made clothes out of skin. And it was only like 2 women, one of which was his mother. He made clothes and furniture out of their skin. And Buffalo Bill is loosely based on Ed Gein as well.
Buffalo Bill, why do they call him that? The papers never say.
Fucking Stottlemyre. So weird.
Yeah, I know. Thank
So
thank
weird.
goodness that somebody else watched Monk, so I can talk
it was
about
fucking weird.
because like everyone I hang out with for the most part like never didn't watch that show, and I was just like I tuned in religiously. That was the last show that I like followed. Like I had to see every episode of them when it was on TV.
Well, Tony Shalhoub's great.
Well, that and Psych, like kind of running alongside.
Psych,
each other.
I
Psych
got
is
into after the
fantastic.
fact, but yeah.
I actually watched Monk before I saw Silence
Same.
of the Lambs.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah,
did,
same.
so it was really fucking weird.
I didn't make the connection right away. Like, I didn't realize that he was Buffalo Bill right away.
I definitely did one of those.
I'm not sure what his name is, what the actor's
Pointing and
name
screaming.
is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But
his name
so I first saw him in the CBS miniseries Moby Dick with Patrick Stewart as Captain Ahab, which was really good.
I kind of need to see this.
It's-
that sounds fantastic.
It's way cool. There's the TV version, which we had on tape for a while, and then we had like the full version, like the not pared down version.
Okay.
Like, but Gregory Peck has a cameo in it as the preacher at the beginning of the movie, and he delivers this like sermon speech kind of thing in my speech class in high school. I delivered that, trying to sound trying to sound as cool as Gregory Peck.
Which you didn't.
Ted
obviously.
Levine.
Yes, Ted Levine.
Yep.
And then I saw him in Monk, and I was like, oh, that's
Theodore.
Starbuck.
Tedrick.
Tedrick Levine.
Tedrick and Larold.
This should be a thing, Miss.
Harold.
Like combining different extensions of names.
Well, so there's these chocolate covered cookies that I like called Tim Tam.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with Tim
And so
Tams.
I found a bunch on
Tim
clearance last night at the Fry's by my house, and I was just like, all right, excellent.
My favorite British import biscuit is
Are you a
Jaffa
Hobnob
Cakes,
guy?
but they're not called Jaffa Cakes. They're called... I can't remember now. But they're fucking great because it's like a moist cake cookie with a layer of jam on top, usually raspberry or orange, and then a thin layer of chocolate over the top of that. And they're just... Pims.
Oh,
They're called
Pims. Yes.
I've heard of it.
I love Pims.
Yeah.
Pims, Hobnob, Walker's shortbread, and
Walker's
yes,
shortbread is
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah,
Biscoff.
absolutely.
I love
and,
Biscoff.
and Tim Tam, which like my buddy and I have we've been watching a lot of Bond movies. He's been getting me up to speed because he's like the biggest Bond nerd in the. It's wonderful because he just knows so much. Like he pointed out that the guy that played Captain Spaulding was in. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Diamonds Are Forever, but no, it was Diamonds Are Forever.
Really?
Yeah, he played a henchman.
No
Sid
shit.
Sid
Oh,
Haig.
Sid Haig, yeah.
Yeah, Sid Haig was a henchman.
No shit. I
He's-
didn't know that.
His line is, "I got a brother."
Huh.
Yeah, exactly. He's like that level. Of,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. But so we make a lot of Bond jokes, and we're like, Tim, because we're eating Tim Tam one night. Like Tim Tam sounds like the name of like a ambiguous like 70s Bond henchman, And it's like, well, what's it short for? Timothy Tamlin.
Yep.
I feel like that's the only way that could be short for it.
My manservant Tim Tam will show you to the door, Mr. Bond.
Yes, Tim Tam. Oh, Tim Tam.
Tim Tam.
Timothy.
He never,
Timothy, Tim
he never
Tam.
has a line. He's just the...
He has lines. They're just...
Yeah. Tim Tam, fetch me the replacement cat. This one died again.
Yarp.
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 As I turn into a, as long as we turn into a tin.